Hey folks, welcome to the first video in my series of many to come, hopefully. I'm just about to use a steak griller, an infrared steak griller for the first time. This particular one is, I'll show you the box here. I'll spin my camera around if I can work out how to do that. No, I won't. So that's basically what I've got. It's a Matador Rapid sear. And this beauty is supposed to get up to 800 degrees Celsius, so I've got it over here warming up. I've unboxed it, set it up. It's quite easy. Connect the gas bottle and pretty much away to go. So you can see the ceramic infrared burner up the top there. My initial thoughts were that it does look a little bit smaller compared to the size of the grilling surface, but now that I've turned it on, I can feel the heat that's coming out of here. I really don't think that's going to be an issue. Like, it really is crazy heat. So I've also got myself a nice Black Angus aged T-bone. It's quite thick, you can see. I'm not sure what the weight is on this one here, but I picked that up today. I bought the whole 8.2 kilo piece of T-bone and pretty much can go and slice it as you need it and go back and take the rest and keep dry aging it as long as you like. So I will let this thing warm up for about 5 to 10 minutes and then I'll come back once I've got the steak in there and see how it grills. Okay guys, welcome back. It's only been another 3 or 4 minutes, so grill's ready to go. We've got the grilling grate right here. As you can see, this handle comes in and out quite easily. So they recommend putting the steak on a coal grill, which I'm going to do. Be interesting to see how long this thing takes to cook. So I'll try and put that right in the middle. Traditionally, I've used all sorts of grills to cook steaks before, including your standard gas barbecues, your Weber. I've also got a commercial char griller which I've used, which gets quite hot, but it takes quite a while to heat up. It's not really worth it just to cook one steak. So I've also cooked steaks like this on charcoal with various results, but let's go in with this and see how we go. They say this is how the professional steakhouses do it, so recommended is to go right up to the top as close as you can without touching your burner, which I think that top setting is going to be too much, so I'll drop it down one. In we go. Remove that handle straight away because it's going to get hot. And you can hear that searing already straight away. And I'll leave that in there for about 2 minutes. And we'll flip it over. That is stifling hot in there. Never had a steak searing that quick before. Let's catch you in a 1.5 to 2 minutes. Okay, so we've been in there for about 1.5 minutes. I'm just going to take it out, see what it looks like. You can see that is crazy charred already. I'll just take it all the way out. Look at that, folks, that's crazy. The light's not the best out here, but that is fantastic. I'm just going to leave that in for a few more seconds. It's a little bit tricky to get this grill grate in, but it's not that bad. It's workable. You can see that fat's just rendering off so quick. For the price I paid for this model, which was $299 from Bunnings in Australia, I can't complain. It seems to have very similar features to other much more expensive infrared grillers. So it'd be interesting to see if anyone can let me know how this compares to some other more expensive models that they're paid for. The build is very strong. It's actually very solid, really solid stainless steel construction. I'm quite impressed with it. I thought these racks in here might be quite flimsy, but they are very solid. This pan out the front here needs to be pulled out to protect the surface in front of the grill so it doesn't get too hot. So that's all that's there for, and it can also store your grilling grate in there as well once you're done. So I'm going to take this out now. I'm going to drop it down. Time to flip it. It's got a very nice char on it. Straight back into that second spot. And let's give that another 1.5 to 2 minutes, and we'll be back in a moment. Okay, so it's been in there for about another 2 to 2.5 minutes, and I'm just going to take it out. See, it's slightly on fire there. I'm just going to flip it again. Believe it or not, that's, according to my rule of thumb, that actually feels like it's cooked medium through, which is crazy to think about. So I'm actually just going to put it in the bottom here. Maybe a little lower. As they say, to finish it off until you get your desired done. So I'll just go grab a probe thermometer and I'll come back and probe it and see where we're at. Okay, so I've just taken this out now. I'm just going to insert the probe thermometer in and see where we're at. No, that's just about perfect. That's about 2.5 to 3 minutes aside for a thick T-bone steak like that. So let's get that inside, cut up, and see how the taste test performs. Welcome back, folks. So this steak's been sitting here for about 5 minutes. As you know, I've cooked it on the Matador infrared griller, so I'm just going to cut this up. I'm quite surprised that it's cooked in about 4 minutes, being such a thick steak. I'll just cut this off the bone. If I can find the bone. Here we go. It does feel very tender, but keep in mind this is an aged steak, but it's only been aged for about a week. The rest of it's still in the aging cabinet, so I'll leave it there for another 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, so that's done. Give that to the dog. Just get this onto the board. That's cooked pretty much perfectly for around 62, 63 degree temp. Excuse the baby in the background, I think she wants a bit of steak. She sure does. Look at that, that's perfectly cooked. I mean, I could have done that even less for 63 degrees. 4 minutes in total cook time, that's pretty amazing. So let's give it a taste test. I don't know if it's a steak or if it's the griller, but it's a really, really tender piece of meat. And it's got such a charred flavour to it. Wow. Like, I seriously don't know if it's a steak. It's the first time I bought this aged steak from this butcher. But that is seriously tender, really good. I'm gonna enjoy that with some homemade mushroom sauce, and that'll be the next video. Stay tuned. Welcome back. I had to do a little conclusion to this video because this steak is seriously good and I'm really confused. I don't know if it's the grill or if it's a steak, so I'm going to do a follow-up video and cook a steak that I've bought many times from my local butcher before, and that'll be a really good guide to let me know if it's a steak or the griller. But it's done a fantastic job. It really has charred the steak. It's got a really, really nice charred flavour to it, and it is very tender and very juicy. So for a aged T-bone that's only been aged for 1 week, it's pretty impressive. I've had aged T-bones that have been aged a lot longer than that, and they haven't been this tender. So I'll do a follow-up video, but I'm really happy with how easy it is to use and how good it's performed today. So like I said, stay tuned for a follow-up video and for this mushroom sauce because it's to die for. Talk to you soon. Welcome back, guys. I thought that video was done, but once my partner tried my steak, it was all over. So she only eats a steak when it's really good, and that was a really, really good steak. So I do have one here that I've purchased from my local butcher that I've had a number of times before and cooked it with other methods. So this is going to be a really good test as to whether this grill is doing the job or whether it's the actual meat itself. So let's put one back in onto that second grill where I had it before. And again, you can hear that sizzling straight away. So this is also an Angus steak, I believe. It's not dry aged, but it is a good quality steak. generally quite tender. So we'll leave this in for a couple of minutes and I'll join you back for the flip. Okay, so it's been a couple of minutes max. I'm going to take this out. You can see that's already very well charred. I'm going to give this a flip, put the fire out. I'm expecting this to cook a fair bit quicker. It's not quite as big a steak. Straight back in. Give it a couple more minutes and I'll have to go back, get my probe thermometer and give that a probe and see where it's at. But it's also cooking extremely fast. You can hear it sizzling. Very impressed so far, guys, with this Matador, what do they call it? Sear station or sear grill. I've seen similar units to this online for well over $1,000. Sure, they have a couple of different features here and there, external handles to raise the grill up and down, but I didn't see any value in that. As far as I'm concerned, it's the fact that it gets to 800 degrees Celsius. It's got adjustable shells and it sears a steak. That's going to do the job, so I don't see the difference in spending $300 to $1,500. So I'll go grab my thermometer and come back and we'll check this in a minute. Okay, so I'm back with my thermometer. Let's chuck that in and see where we're at. Okay, so we're a little bit off, so I'll put that back in. See how quick it gets back up to 62. Okay, so I'll put it back in for another minute on each side. Wow. That's gone from 50 to 70 in like a minute on each side. That's crazy. Well, that's clearly overdone, but let's go inside, cut it up and see how tender it is. All right, so take two. Let's get into this one and see how tender this is compared to the first one. I've just come back in and probed it again. It is a bit overcooked. It's a little bit overcooked for my liking. It's about 60, 65, 66, but at least we'll still be able to tell if it's tender and if this griller has done a good job. Yep, as you can see, a little bit more cooked than the other one. A bit overcooked for my liking, but a bit of trial and error. This grill is so fast. This is a thinner steak. It doesn't have a bone, so by rights it's cooked a lot quicker. You can see it's a bit thicker at this end and it's cooked a little bit better. Let's give this a quick taste test. Very tender, very impressed. Wow, that's really good, really nice. Like I said, it's a little bit overcooked. I wish it was a little bit under, but the steak is so tasty, so tender, and it's got that nice charred flavour, which is what you really want. So I'm really impressed with this grill. Let's get stuck into this and we'll do some more videos, try a few different types of steaks and get it perfected. See you soon.